more about definitions. Just like when you wrote down the definition of an algorithm, this is very much the same thing, except different. But the word for today, ladies and gentlemen, is reciprocal. Those of you that have parents that do any kind of constructing work, whether they remodel their own house, Johnson's, would be, your father's a man of many talents, man. He can throw a dodgeball. He can annihilate a house or demolish a house. There is, ladies and gentlemen, a little tool called a reciprocating saw, which is really the same thing as a sawzall, they call it there. Does anybody know what a reciprocal saw is? A reciprocating saw. We don't usually use it. It is a kind of saw. It's the kind of saw, well, it looks a little like this. It's got a handle, and it's got kind of a long sort of thing here that goes like this. And then it goes like this, and then it has a blade that sticks out like this.
Oh, my dad has one of those. Yeah.
You put your hand, you hold your hand in here, pull the little trigger, and this little thing goes backwards and forth like this, and it just can cut like a knife through butter.
Yeah, my dad used one of those to cut off the hard bar on our tractor.
That was it. Everybody needs to cut off the hard bar on their tractor. We'll do that some other time. Okay, that's a reciprocating saw. But what does reciprocal mean? If you think about this, it kind of runs back and forth. Owen says, a reciprocal is this. Simply write this down in big letters here. A fraction flipped over. In an example, if I ask you what a reciprocal is, that's what you would tell me. If I said to, what is the reciprocal of? What is the reciprocal of? Here are the examples that will give you everything you need to know about reciprocals. Let's say we have the reciprocal of 2/3, reciprocal of 1/2, reciprocal of 5. Now watch how easy this is. This takes little to no understanding whatsoever. If you are looking for the reciprocal of 2/3, you just take the fraction and you flip it over and it becomes 3/2. Okay, and you can leave it. If they ask you for reciprocal, that's one of the times that you can leave it as an improper fraction. Okay, the reciprocal of 2/3 is just that fraction flipped over. Okay, the reciprocal of 1/2, flip that over, is 2/1. That's not very hard, is it? Now 5 might be a little confusing. Before you find the reciprocal of 5, you need to make 5 a fraction. What is 5 as a fraction? It is 5/1. So what would it be as a reciprocal? 1/5. Okay. It's just that easy. Let me see if it gets any harder. No. That's it. Now, why do we need to know that?
Why do we need to know that?
Because if you go to your notes under fractions, and do pull up your notes under fractions. Today, you will become ever so much smarter than you were, even 30 seconds ago. We did division of fractions. We did a little bit with division of fractions. Okay, and I asked you 2 divided by 1/3. What was it? Remember? Uh-oh. 2 divided by 1/3. Kelsey?
6.
Yeah, how'd you get that?
Because 6/3
Sure, why not? How'd you get that, Chase?
1/3 goes into 2 6 times.
Right, there are 6 1/3 and 2, I guess. You know, whatever that is. Yeah, Molly, how'd you get it?
3/3 equals 1, and then.
Yeah, 3/3 equals 1, so.
And then if you had 6/3, then equals 2.
All right, now how about this? Since you got that, what if you have this? 7/8 divided by 1/2. How many 1/2s can you take out of 7/8? Whoa! Your world is about to be rocked, Gavin Ratos. About to be rocked. Oh, and you got nothing on that one? Molly?
1.
Yeah, but there's more than one. I agree, one, at least one. If you think about that whole thing. Okay?
1 3/4.
How'd you get 1 3/4?
Well, 1/2 like 1 would be 4/8, and the remainder would be 3, and then 4 would be 3/4.
Got that? Everybody hear what Chase said? Give him a hand. Did you really understand that, Kelsey? I'll give you another one. If you understood that.
I have no clue what
Me,
he said.
me almost neither, Gavin, but that's okay, because it doesn't matter here. All right, let me give you another one, Chase. I'm gonna give you the hardest. See how many people can do this one. 3/5 divided by 7/8. I like the way the mind's working here.
Did we stump him?
It's okay to admit defeat, because I couldn't do it this way either. You just asked me. Can I give you lots of time on this? Kelsey says, no. If you think about this, it's not gonna. It can't be a whole number, because if you start with 3/5, you can't take 1 7/8 out of a 3/5. Because 7/8 is bigger than 3/5. So it has to be something smaller than 1. And Harper's gonna say what? Harper? Say there must be a better way. There is absolutely a better way. And this, ladies and gentlemen, if you struggled with any of that, it really doesn't matter, because that's not the way we teach dividing by fractions. Write this down. Ready? Because this. Oh, Clay is ready. Thank you, sir. Right, here we go. 2 divide by a fraction. Now, somebody must be saying, why in the world would we talk about reciprocals if we weren't going to use it today?
Why would we talk about reciprocals if we weren't going to use it?
All right. That's why we talked about reciprocals, because in answer to the question, 2 divided by a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. Game over. Now, I'll give you some examples and you go, oh yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. Let's look at the first one here. Okay, we knew this was 6. Almost everybody could get that, because you know you can take 3/3 out of 1, so you got 2 of them, so that's 6. Well, to do it the mathematical way, by the way, and it is always write this asterisk down. We always flip the second one. Always flip the second one. In other words, this. If I have 2 divided by 1/3, to divide by a fraction, you change it into a multiplication problem. You multiply by this reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. And guess what? 2 times 3/1 is 6, which everybody got. Okay. Going back to Chase's problem, which he got right, that everybody said, what? What's he talking about when he said this? 2 divide by 1/2, you flip it over and multiply by 2/1. It's reciprocal. The reciprocal of half is 2/1. And what do I get when I do that? I get 14/8, which Chase would tell you 8 goes into 14 once. You have 6 left over, so it's 1 6/8, and 6/8 reduced down to 3/4, which is, I think, what Chase said for that. Now, to the one that Chase didn't get, this is why he didn't get it, because it's just absolutely crazy that he would. the answer to this, what is 3/5 divided by 7/8? It's the same thing as 3/5 times what? 8/7, which is, believe it or not, 24 over 35. Really?
Yeah, I scribbled it out.
You got it?
But it was wrong. Yeah, I got it. It's scroll out though.
24 over 35. Explain, Owen. Give us the whole thing right from the beginning in layman's terms. Go ahead. Well, how did you get 24 35?
When I was dividing 3/5, when I was dividing 7/8 by 3/5.
Oh, you're dividing 3/5 by 7/8, yes. Yeah. You're dividing 3/5 by 7/8. Yes, yes. Keep going.
And you would have to flip over 7/8 and get 8/7, and then you would have to multiply.
Oh, I thought you did it some sort of way back.
No,
when
I
we
did
were
this
talking
in
about
the
it.
same exact way.
Back when we were talking about it before,
No,
or just right now?
not right now. I knew how to do this before
Oh, well, I thought you did it. I thought you did a pictorial of it like Chase was talking about. So that's why Chase couldn't get 24 35. Who can come up with that? You'd have to cut the circle into 35 equal pieces and then split it up there. Here's another one. How about this one? What is 2/3 divided by, I don't know, what should we say, 3/4? How would you do 2/3 divided by 3/4? You would take 2/3 and do what to it? Multiply it by what? 4/3, which would give you 8/9. I don't know how much of that you can do in your head, but that's neither here nor there. We will stop with that, just because. Your assignment, children.